The year is 323 BC, and Alexander the Great, king of Macedon, is dead. He has founded an empire from Greece all the way to modern-day India, and he's on his deathbed. Ministers from all over the world, as far as Greece, India, Egypt, and even other embassies, come to visit him, for they only ask one question: who is the heir of his massive empire? His response is the strongest. Thus starts the War of the Diadochi. However, it was not long until one of the rulers, Ptolemy I, controlled one of his own kingdoms, or provinces, and that provinces was no other than the province of Egypt. Large, wealthy, and with a strong population, it was one of the dominant provinces in all of the known world. And thus, when the War of the Diadochi occurred, Ptolemy II fought valiantly to defend his province, and it was eventually he succeeded. Now, obviously that was the past. For now, years have passed, and the Wars of the Diadochi are long over. However, coming with that arises new problems. For Ptolemy, it was his age, for he will die, succeeded by his son Ptolemy II. Ptolemy II was not much like his father. He was not a general, but a ruler. And that is where we start our campaign with Rome II Divided Impera. And hello, that was a long spiel. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Napoleon Total, and I'm playing Rome II Total War. And for those that you do not know, Rome II Total War, it is a game set in the Roman time period. And now you might be asking me a lot of questions now. Why am I doing Rome II? Why am I... what is Divided Impera? And why Egypt? To be exact, it's Ptolemaic Egypt, but I'll get on to that later. Why Rome II? Well, Rome II is one of the Total War series games. And I've been playing the Total War series games for a long time. It is one of my favorite series. And the reason is simple, really simple. Total War games allow you to fight your wars, fight your battles on the battlefield, and yet at the same time command your economy, control the politics, and that is one of the reasons why I like Rome 2. And as a matter of fact, most of the Total War games, except for Warhammer, because as for those who watch my channel for a long time, you will know I am a history freak. And Rome 2 puts a lot of history, and is mostly historically accurate. For reasons that is because the community, the game is really prone to historical accuracy, which is why they made a lot of historical series. For example, Shogun 2, Rome 2, Three Kingdoms, etc., etc. And what is Divided Impera? Well, Divided Impera is a game mod that makes the game even more realistic. What do I mean? Well, you see, Divided Impera allows you to manage your population, manages you to allow attrition, supply lines, all these good things. And I'll be getting into that later on. For now, you guys just need to know that Divided Impera allows you to run your country more like a country. And I'll explain that later. For now, the first problem we have for Egypt is that everyone literally hates you. And the reason's simple. Historically, the situation Egypt was in was that the Greeks hate the Egyptians hate the Greeks. Everyone hates everyone. And because Egypt, for those that you don't know, at this time period was ruled by the Greeks. Now you might be wondering, wait, why is it ruled by the Greeks? Well, that's simple. There was a guy named Alexander the Great from Macedon, which is this area. This is Greece right now. And to be exact, is here. And he conquered the known world all the way from Greece to India. And yeah, and and the ruling class for all the people were not were Greek, and for multiple reasons, because Alexander himself was considered Greek, or from Macedon, but anyway. So the ruling classes were Greek, and they were expected to rule over all these inhabitants, which is a problem and is not a problem, especially like places in Greek. That is not Greece. That is not a problem. For places like Egypt, that is a huge problem. For example, because the population of Egyptians are not that high. The population of Greeks are not that big. The population of Egyptians are massive, and Egypt itself will have a population of at least 30 million at this time, which for a country like Egypt is massive. I think it was 3 million, but sorry, it might totally be 3 million, but yeah. Actually no, it was 30 million. My bad. Yeah, my bad. It's 30 million. So anyway, let's get started. So where are we? What have we been doing? Well, as you can see, I'm building temples. Yeah, and the reason why I'm building temples, as you can see, is it gives you +2 sanitation, -2% regional taxes, which is a bad thing. Sanitation helps your population grow in the sense that it doesn't allow disease to spread, and that is pretty important. +2 Hellenic culture, and you might be asking me, wait, what's Hellenic culture? It's just another fancy way of saying Greek culture, and also +1%. 0.1% to first and second class levels. Now, divided Impera puts in a class level, which you can see right here. It has the regional population. So the first class is the Eugenes, which is slowly decreasing, as you can see. We're going negative. Now, Eugene, Kurokos, and Lexios are another fancy way of saying Greeks. To be specific, Eugenus are the wealthy Greeks, which are mainly the ruling class. Most of these will become generals, serve in the army, etc., etc. Kurokos will be Kurikos. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Are the medium wealthy class Greeks, and these are the ones that will also be serving in the army. So, and the lower, and same thing for the locals, except for those are poor and they are considered mixed race. For example, they might intermarry with Egyptians, which during this time period, Ptolemy the First and Second and Third will actually support, because, well, obviously the Greek ruling class is so little that you need to boost your population. So the Ptolemies just did that, and the Zenai are the ones that are everyone else. In this case, it's the Egyptians. So where are we right now? I'm building temples en masse, and I'm just building temples. Now, we own a lot of provinces, don't we? We own Libya, we own Apagos, which is the Greek way of saying Egypt. We own Judea, which is modern day Israel. And what I'm doing right now is building a lot of stuff. I'm mostly trying to increase my my situation here. Yeah, and most of my problems are going to build temples, and that is perfectly fine with me. We have an administrator, or his name is Xenophon, and he's a governor. So what this person does, especially, it gives you public order, gives you cultural conversion, and does a lot of good things for you. This is one of my armies, and is currently led now by a noble. Now you might be asking, wait, what's a noble? Well, if you look in our faction, we have a faction summary. Now, we are the Ptolemaic dynasty. Surprise, surprise to absolutely no one. We are the Ptolemaic dynasty, and our faction leader, who is also our party leader, is Ptolemy II. Now, as you might know, you see, he doesn't have a wife, nor does he have children. So what are we going to do? We're going to give him a wife. Now, historically, Ptolemy II had multiple wives. The last wife, historically, he disgraced her in public, and she left. Now, that wife will have a son called Ptolemy III, and I wonder who will come back eventually to reclaim his throne. Obviously, this is not going to result in civil war, because, let's just say Ptolemy II will eventually just give him the position of pharaoh. And yes, the official ruler of the Ptolemies were called pharaohs. Now, Ptolemy II is known as the Philadelphos, which means the enlightened one, and unlike his father, which I've said, is not a general. Now, the other factions we have are the Macedonian nobility, and these people are militarist, they're traditionalists, which means they're your Greek armies, likes Romans, which is kind of weird. Now, Egyptian nobility are pacifist, Mughal, and they're bigot, while the noble families are probably your most important problem. They're diplomats, merchants, and xenophobe. Great. As now we conquered, we take care of that. We also have to take care of our character situation. Now, as you can see, my Macedonians, Egyptians, and noble families are military generals, which is a problem. Now, why you might be asking, well, why is that a problem? Well, you see this thing called government overview. Now, I do not personally didn't have expand their influence, which in turn expand their party seats. This thing is party seats. As you can see, we have 50% of all seats, 148 out of 300. The rest are held by Macedonians, Egyptians, and nobles. So how do we maintain our faction, or to be exact, our party influence, which is the influence of the dynasty? Well, that's simple. It's really simple indeed.
How can I assist,
have these people replace this, who's a noble, with Ptolemy himself. And why am I doing that? It is really simple. These winning battles gives your dynasty more influence. Obviously, noble families are a problem because I do not want them to get too much power in the Senate, and thus too much influence, to be exact. And yeah, that is pretty the exact reason why. Now, giving them an army, your faction leader, your people in your your dynasty will also boost this. And now you might be thinking, now what do these people do? Now that's simple. I'm just going to send them eventually on as diplomats to maintain your loyalty. And what is loyalty, you might ask? Well, loyalty is this thing right here that looks like a fire. And if their loyalty goes below -25, I'm sorry, but that is going to lead to civil war. And you might be asking me, what is civil war? Well, civil war is this. As of right now, Ptolemaic dynasty rules all of Egypt and her provinces, meaning, however, if Macedonians were to revolt, these provinces will turn blue, and it is best to watch out for that. And so what am I doing right now? Well, I managed that, and now I'm gonna do with diplomacy. Now, as you can see, these are all our neighbors. You have Cyrenaica, you have Namnodes, you have Ethiopians, you have Spartan, Athens, Macedon, and yes, Divide Impera does change the name, and I'll just be explaining to you one by one. Now, so the Seleucids hate us for obvious reasons, which I will explain later. Athens like us for obvious reasons.
For the sake of friendship that has been and friendship to come.
Yes, thank you.
Greetings.
Greetings to you too.
Now, let us seek wisdom together.
Now, so what I'm gonna do is ask a lot of these people for trade. And the reasons why is very simple. Trade boosts your income, and yeah. Starting out with the nicest people. These people love me, but I will eventually go to war with them, so let me just get the trade agreement.
Sure that you come to deliver a profitable message.
And this is going to be the boring part.
Honorable words. Speak, my friend, and burden yourself of diplomacy, and let us find agreement here, in the fashion of simple, honest man.
This is the part in which is kind of boring, but it is necessary, especially in the early game, and the reason is simply because it gives you a lot of money.
Then, noble friend, your kind words and learned debate
I know you guys are poor, but I need money. Now let's go north. Rhodes is an ally.
Greetings, my friend. You
Except
have...
that. Sure.
Our merchants seek prosperity in your lands. Yours could do the same in ours. Will you agree?
Crete, Konos, is pretty dang happy. I just need to get a non-aggression pack. Oh, that's
If
fine.
I can
Great.
give you a fair answer, you will have it. There is good in trade. To walk through a market is to understand a people and learn to respect them.
Okay, let me get non-aggression pack. I should have accepted the 6,000. Oh, okay.
I had hoped that you were a philosopher. And
yes, I am a philosopher.
Reason and good argument. I was wrong.
My name is literally the philosopher.
We Greeks are...
And Athens.
Welcome. I throw open the doors to you and bid you enjoy our talks.
I really want to enjoy the talks too. But accept my trade agreement and a non-aggression pact.
Your words bring...
And for those that don't know by now, non-aggression pacts allow you
you have wisdom indeed.
Non-aggression pact ensures that the enemy will not, your neighbors will not attack you.
And embrace your offer.
Okay, good. Antiquities. Now, for those that are wondering why isn't this place called Macedon,
as you wish, without fear of consequence or danger.
Actually, as a matter of fact, let me do something. Options, sound, speech, yes. Alright. For those that are wondering why these are not called Macedons, it's literally because Macedon at this time was held by the Antiquity dynasty, and that dynasty will be really important later on to why we are at such a bad relationship with everyone else. The Seleucids are not going to accept trade, are you? Defensive? Nope, definitely not. Trade agreement? Nope, definitely not. Okay. These people are cured. Non-aggression pact? Nope. They don't like us for obvious reasons. Reasons in which I will later tell you. Cyrenaica. Now, Cyrenaica. These are our client state, which means they give us part of our income, but these people are gonna be a problem. Now, I'm just gonna delete this. Yes. Because I don't like them. Now, as you can see, I have a lot of money in the bank, and so what am I gonna do? Well, that's simple. I'm gonna raise an army. Now, armies are easy to raise, but they are hard to maintain. For example, these guys cost about 1,000, and they have upkeep costs, as you can see with right here, of 235. And I'm just gonna mass produce cavalry right now because cavalry in the early game, especially in the early game, are really OP. As a matter of fact, even in the late game, they're OP, overpowered. The fleet, I'm gonna put them in here. Now, the fleet is led by our Macedonian, which I cannot replace him as of right now. I'm gonna start moving armies to invade Cyrenaica, but yeah. Now, this guy, I'm gonna rename. And the reason is really simple.
What can I do for Egypt?
And that is pretty much it for my armies.
How can I assist?
Now I have to march them into this place. And there are multiple army stances. For now I can only do patrol, which helps with the public order. Now, as you can see, here's the thing called here, and mostly this province is Judaic. And I'm trying to get Hellenistic culture up so I can rule them properly. This is Egyptian, which is 70%. Oh crap, that's a lot. Yeah. And so I need to deal with public order off the bat, or else I'm gonna have revolts. I'm gonna do breeding games, which boosts the public order at the cost of food, which is totally worth it. You guys, bread and order, breeding games. You inspire these people so they don't revolt. I can't really do anything with you, but at this rate I can lower taxes, but it's not recommended. Technology. So, what am I doing for technology? Well, let's go down intellectual headhunting, which increases the research rate, and gives me it doesn't increase the research rate. It increase the recruitment of dignitaries, which is really powerful at the beginning, especially in the beginning, because it allows you to maintain your provinces. And what else am I supposed to do? Let me do this, let me do this, let me do this. Let's not spend all our money because I still need to raise an army. Alright, that's pretty much it for the first turn. And let's start the next turn. Now, I'm going to use this time to tell some history. The Seleucids did not like the Ptolemaic dynasty, and for reasons that will be really simple. Ptolemaic Egypt, you see, was one of the successor kingdoms, and like Seleucus, who was the founder of the Seleucid dynasty, they did not like each other, especially after the Wars of the Diadochi. So what is the Wars of the Diadochi? Well, now, to talk about Seleucus, we have to talk about the Wars of the Diadochi. Before we do that, I'm going to assign this person to a diplomat. Where do I want you to go? Well, that's simple. I want you to go to the Seleucids. Why? Because I want to kill you. Now, diplomats have 4 problems. One, they might die during, how do I put it? Oh yeah, expeditions or visiting another country. And that is the best case scenario because I want other party members to die. Well, I want my party members to live and lead armies. I'm a very nice guy, you see. Anyway, continuing on. This army is getting mobilized. I'm producing more Sarissa Pike infantry. And so, that's also pretty much it. Let me see, public order plus 13, plus 5, that's pretty great. Judea is minus 4. Okay, can you do organized games? Okay. Judea, accept. And this allows public order to rise at the cost of loyalty, which is not really a problem. Especially not right now. But yeah, let's go. Let me see. Higher politicians, noble families, Egyptians. Nope, all of you are bad. Not from my dynasty, so that's a problem. Next turn. And so what are the Wars of the Diadochi? The Wars of the Diadochi, in short, is a long series of wars that determines the who controls Macedon. The Alexander's Empire. One of them, like I said, was Ptolemy. And during the entire war, what happened was, at the beginning, it was just total chaos. But then eventually one of these people, 4 people, would become even more and more prominent. One of them was Ptolemy, who we are playing as right now. The other one is Seleucus, who is north of us, who pretty much hate us. And I'm going to explain why in a few seconds. The third one is Antigonus, and the 4th one is Lysander, who's mainland Greece. Now,
we make this modest request.
No. So basically what happened was that Antigonus wanted to retake the empire, which is pretty ambitious. So he went and wanted to take the empire, but the problem was that a lot of other people also wanted the empire. Therefore, they went to war. Now, during the entire war, one second, during the entire war, Ptolemy will be seen as this great general, but him compared to Seleucus is not that impressive. Seleucus was a way better general in the field, and even everywhere. Seleucus was just a way better general. Holy, noble families are getting more power. That's a bad thing. Seleucus was a way better general in terms of everything. Especially this could be really seen during the Battle of Raphia, the Battle of Ippus, which ended the War of the Diadochi. Now, the reason why Seleucus hated us so badly is because during the peace talks before the war, it was Lysander, Ptolemy, and Seleucus all agreed that when the war was over, Ptolemy will get Egypt, Seleucus will get his empire, which we will see, and Syria, which is including the province of Judea, which, as you just saw, is now under my control. And Lysander will get Greece, or part of Greece. And that was agreed. And the problem was that during the Battle of Ippus, Lydia would... Oh yeah, I forgot you guys.
To walk through a market is to understand a people and learn to respect them.
Well, one second. Yeah, sure. Lysander. And during the Battle of Ippus, which Ptolemy did not join for obvious reasons, what this...
What can I do for Egypt? It's a great and glorious thing to
It
fight
is.
for our cause.
Thank you. You too. Now what happened? What happened during the Battle of Ippus, which ended the wars of the Diadochi, as I explained? Seleucus, Ptolemy, instead of helping at the Battle of Ippus, Ptolemy decided to do a very interesting thing and invade Syria. Now, does it make sense? Of course it makes sense. Syria at the time was held by Antigonus. And therefore, it made total sense for Ptolemy to invade Syria. Now, Syria also, at this point, also includes the province of Judea, which is another way of saying Jewish kingdom. And his invasion was very successful, partly because Seleucus was dealing with his enemies in the north. And Ptolemy just conquered it without any bloodshed, mostly without any bloodshed, and his invasion was very successful. Now, you might be asking me, wait, why does Seleucus hate us? Well, as you've seen in the agreement, Seleucus was supposed to, Ptolemy, my bad, what's supposed to happen was that Ptolemy was not supposed to gain Syria, which is this province right here. Now, did that make a huge problem? No. Oh. And that was a problem for Seleucus because... Set that now. Because now Ptolemy has control of Egypt. Syria, and part of Syria at least, and obviously Ptolemy was not, Seleucus was not happy and wanted it back. And however, Ptolemy, being the Ptolemy, did not give it back. So which really made Seleucus angry, and that was just boiled down in the wars of the Diadochi, the Syrian wars, which occurred after the death of Ptolemy I, which will be really important later on. Do you want military alliance? No, that's... And that is why they hate each other. Oh, come on.
Although this offer is fair, I must reject it.
Come on. Now, Clostridium is another way of saying Carthage. Except that, what do you guys... Okay, historically, Egypt and Carthage were in a military alliance, sort of. That's too much money. Please accept. Oh, come on. Okay, yeah, this is impossible. I will not be giving you that much money. And... what is your diplomat standing with me? They condemn expansionists, treaties were... okay, yeah. Friendly.
Your reputation precedes you.
Military
How can
access.
Carthage be of assistance?
Okay. And yeah, that is pretty much it. My armies are on the border of Cyrenaica, and they're gonna invade next turn. So this turn has been pretty uneventful for those who are new to Rum 2. And this turn has just been building up. well, my temples are done. And yeah, that is pretty much it for this episode. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.